Okay, welcome back, guys, to Blitz Wizard 94 here. We're gonna be here, looking at a game that I played. Um, this is gonna be just a recap, of Space Coast, and yeah, let's just get into it. First off, I just ended the event with 2 points out of 5. It is a disappointment. I'm not really angry. I'm just more disappointed how I wasted the opportunity. I feel like I maybe could have ended it with 3 or 3.5. But again, my pride just got the best of me, and I simply, I got punished for it. And this game is a really good representation of why you can't really have it all in chess. Even if you have a good position, you just can't force it, um, unless you're that strong. And for me, it was very, very tricky. So I have black in this position. This was against Anthony Gospodinov, who was a very, very strong 2100, but his FIDE is really low. It's near mine's, very, very higher, and it's not that great. It promotes me to try to win, because this is a good opportunity to gain some FIDE. He starts the game with d4, I go knight sits, c4, e6, then c3, and here I had the option to potentially go d5, go into queen to cabin decline. I instead opted for Nimzo Indian. He went with a main line with a3. I took b takes c3, and here I decided to go for the main move c5. And usually in these types of positions, you would try to counteract against white's double pawns and get a close position where maybe perhaps this bishop develops, and you're able to get this break, maybe pressure on c4. Also, you just have to basically negate what happens in the center, and if white ever decides to close it off, black should be practically fine. That was a very nice idea with c5, and it's very, very theoretical. Really principled response. He reacted to this in a very, very weird way. And when he played this move, I thought, okay, I have maybe a chance of winning this game. He played queen e3, and I was surprised by this move because I didn't really get the purpose of it. I knew maybe he has some ideas of queen f3, d5, or just simply pretending the c4 pawn. But it felt like the move just wasted time, and I didn't really like it. I wasn't really much of a fan of it. I ended up taking on d4, which is anti-positional, as I'm helping him fix his double pawns, but my idea was just to play d5. And yet again, he surprised me. I thought he was going to go maybe knight f3, e3, or a4 to put the bishop on e3. He instead just took, and here I took with the queen, because there's no knight on c3 to counteract my queen on d5 gaining the tempo. He responded with knight f3, on this pawn here, sorry. And here I initially thought, a lot of time, maybe I could have done knight c6, knight e7, and in the end I decided just to castle, as my queen and my knight are both defending against e4, and it's very, very crucial. Let me actually get something really, really quick from my room. Just to demonstrate the point, in this position, black is vying for equality, and they have a really, really nice position. Okay, so sorry about that. I was just getting this pen that I got in a dollar store over the tournament. This is the Blitz Wizard 94 pen. It's good. Back to the game. Sorry for the random joke there. The point of this position is my queen and my knight are both defending this really, really crucial e4 square, as all Nimzo Indians should be. And I'm simply just trying to get some counterplay. I'm playing kind of a very weird hyper modern setup. The idea of going rook d8, knight c6, and simply just try to pressure the pawn b4. He tries to punish me in a very practical manner. He plays g3, and the reason, again, this queen e3 move is a little bit slow. I feel like if it wasn't for queen e3, bishop g2 would have been a lot more stronger. I did bishop d7, he played bishop g2, and the idea of this move is simply to put my bishop on c6 and counteract his bishop. I thought eventually it had gone over knight h4, queen d7, takes. Here maybe I could have taken with knight. I thought queen takes was better because he would have to waste a move. Knight e7, and I'm thinking, okay, my position is around equal. Maybe white's a little bit better, if according to the engine, I'm not sure. So probably knight takes would have been more cleaner as it gains tempo. Then I could attack the rook, and then it would come down with like some very nice smashing complications in the center, fighting for advantage. That's what I initially thought. Now this did not happen. Like, you know, of course he just ignored after bishop c6. He just castles normally, and here I thought for some time, and I played a move which is very dynamic. As it really only serves one purpose, because here I was calculating all these weird lines with knight e1, knight h4, and I thought maybe he would go a4 with the idea of bishop a3. Like, I thought he just had a lot of space initiative in compensation. Meanwhile, my piece is this knight is not yet too developed, and I am fighting for e4, which is the current pawn break, pawn dynamic there. If he's able to get e4, he should get a really nice position and really good advantage. Here I played the move rook f c8. Now, the purpose of this move is simply that had he gotten knight h4, I could now just drop the queen back. Maybe d7 is fine or d8, but that wasn't the point. The point is knight h4 wouldn't really work here. The point was, I think knight e1. Why did I play this move again? No, knight h4. Yeah, knight h4, queen d7, queen d8, and then when he takes my bishop, I'm able to take back the rook. What's the difference here? So the difference is that if we go back a couple of moves ago, where's my bishop? Sorry. The difference is, let's say I would have gone normally with knight d7. What I didn't like in this position was the fact that he could have gone still knight h4, queen d6, and now he comes in with this move, bishop f4, and he's immediately fighting for advantage because I would have to waste a move. Then he just takes. And I didn't like how I ended up with this really bad pawn, because I thought he had simple targets, maybe rook c1. This pawn honestly would be a thorn in my position, and I didn't like it. Now maybe the computer will say it's easy to get rid of it, but I simply, practically speaking, like, I visualized this in my head and just evaluated that it would just be very uncanny. Maybe I do have time with c5, but again, this bishop is super strong. Eventually if it gets on d6, it's almost practically game over. So for that reason, I pushed my rook on c8 in the event that he does go knight h4, knight e1. And again, I initially thought here for a while, and I played sorry about that. I initially, I played rook c8 to stop this idea, and here he decides to go bishop f4, and this is like the weirdest part of the game actually. I sort of maneuvered in a Scandinavian fashion, because I played the move queen to d8. Again, this move only has one purpose, simply just take the queen out of the line of fire. Now this might conduce a very controversial take, like why am I taking the queen off when it's currently pinning the knight? Like the knight can't really go anywhere unless it goes to e1 h4. But still, I feel like I wanted to get the queen out. I want to go knight e7, knight b6, knight d5, and maybe put my bishop on e4. And here he played a really weird move. I don't remember if it was this exact moment, but he played this move h3. And I know he played h3 eventually. I think he played it a little like 2 moves earlier. But still, h3, I didn't really quite get the point of this move. I was thinking maybe in my head maybe it's to go g4, but I quite clearly wrapped my head around it, because for one, it gave me bishop e4, so I was able to gain a tempo. He had to go queen e3, and now I put my queen back on d5, which is really nice, as it, again, now it's even better, because now my queen isn't in front of my bishop, and whenever he moves the knight, I can just trade, and just put my knight on c6, and I'm practically just happy here. I'm living the dream. It's like a very comfortable position for black. Practically wise, that you have the weak pawn, maybe you can start pushing with b5, or anything really. The only thing I didn't like was how to counteract the bishop, but I thought, black has to be better. This is not winning on what is. So in the game, he decided to go to another route. He decided to, forgive me, this is knight on b8. He decided to do rook c1. I finished my development with knight d7, and now rook c3 comes along. And I kept calculating for a while. In my head, I was visualizing okay, rook takes c3, queen takes c3, and what do I do here? I'm giving him the open file. I probably lost on my advantage. I could maybe have done queen c6 there actually. Rook takes c3, queen takes c3. So takes, and queen c6, and takes, maybe knight e5, bishop takes g2, king takes g2, knight takes, bishop takes, knight e5. And I thought, maybe e4 there. And again, in my head, I'm just simply just trying to find a matter where I'm able to just conserve a little bit of advantage. It's just like very hard to milk this. And I knew I have a practically better position, but it's just hard to prove it. And the other side to be b6, idea of reinforcing the b7 square so that if he did double, which he did in the game, I would have queen b7. And now if we traded, we would, I would take back and I would still control the file. That was my idea. In the game, he, I believe, did a4, I think, or I think the pawn was already on a4. Sorry, I ended up taking rook takes c3 and rook c8. Now, had he gone queen takes, I think that would have been a lot more interesting. I was expecting queen takes in the game actually. I would have done knight d5, maybe queen d2 would have been played, and then now rook c8, or probably knight f6. Knight f6 is still fine. Knight 5 takes, and I feel like oh no, we can't do knight 5 there in that position because discovery. But I feel like I would have gotten a lot of compensation. Rook c8, maybe eventually get the pass pawn rolling. That was my initial plan in this position because I thought, okay, this pawn a4 is just very, very weak. It's looking misplaced, and I just needed to find a way to like mitigate it. But he did not do queen takes c3, which is very, very optical. He did rook takes c3 and then rook c8, and I believe here he just took queen take, and I believe here he had I think like 7 minutes on the clock. I had like around 20:15, and I remember there was a moment where he was like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and he just offered me a draw. I can't remember. I think it was in this position that he offered me a draw. I came back. I had like 15 minutes, and this is the hardest thing about chess, like knowing what to accept and decline draws. The thing about me is I always keep declining draws, and I try so hard to win Elo in these tournaments, even though like the odds are realistically they're stacked against you because it's really hard to win against all these guys, and especially if you draw them, then your feet able will just probably just keep going down, and you're probably just gonna keep bleeding points like you do in poker, where you still have any good hands, and eventually you're gonna have to run out of any moves. That's what made me hesitate. I regret now. I feel like I should have taken the draw. It really just hurts my heart just seeing what could have been in this tournament. But queen takes c8 was played. He responded with queen b3, and I found the best move. And again, this is one of the issues I'm having with my chess currently, where I know I can play well, and I know I'm finding the best moves. I got in a position which was unorthodox. I got advantage of it, and I'm not only equal, but I'm also fighting for advantage. I play queen c2. The idea with this move is that if he trades, I take back with my bishop, and again, that a4 pawn that we talked about earlier is going to fall, and maybe I get the two connected. If a5, which if I would play, I'll just take, and worst case scenario, I draw this, but still, I am fighting for something here. That's why I initially thought. In the game, he did not trade, and he played the one move I didn't really consider. Cause I was thinking it was bad. Like I didn't even consider it. I didn't even think it was a move. He played queen b5. Initially, I was thinking queen b4, with the idea of infiltrating maybe queen d6 or queen e7. He played queen b5, and this is just puzzles. This is what honestly infuriates me to my core. Bishop c6 was the one I looked at for a while, and I was thinking, okay, queen a6. I take with queen. We get check. Knight f8. And that I simply hallucinated. I thought the queen was still in the 7th rank and could just take on f7. That's why I hallucinated, which was really unfortunate. After knight e5, I believe the best move was bishop e8. In my head, looking back at this right now, if I take and take, I maybe, damn. Knight e7 here I don't think works because he has knight c6. Followed with threats like bishop d6. Like the position was a little tricky, but I simply just did not evaluate precisely. I miscalculated and I hallucinated a ghost when I shouldn't really have. Because here knight e5 doesn't do anything, knight g5 doesn't really do anything as well. It's just that I'm seeing a ghost, knight e5, just bishop e8, and while position may look a little bit tricky, these two pawns at the end of the day, once I cover with knight d5, or just trade with knight e7, knight takes e5, black should be practically slightly better, if not just outright winning. And this, again, it saddens me how I missed this really simple tactic. I really watched it. I was looking, I was considering it. In the end, I simply just held my guns and played queen c8, which was a bad move. This was all my advantage. He did knight e5. I traded. King takes g2. Knight takes. Bishop takes. I wish he would have taken a pawn. Maybe that would have given me more incentive. And here again, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like whenever I'm in these types of tournaments, the 5 rounds, like I just played badly. Like I played this move knight. I didn't play knight e5. I played knight e7. When I really tried to play knight e5, I just thought it wasn't a move because I thought I was pinning myself, which is really weird. Like I thought knight c3, queen c2, which is again it's just ludicrous. I thought e4 was a move here, but just knight c3, and I was picking up e4 or d5, and the back rank is still safe because my queen's on c8. Like it's honestly ridiculous how I'm just like fumbling here. Maybe what I did think I saw was like queen b4, knight takes, and f3, but even then, my knight just goes to f6. I'm up a pawn, and it's really clean. So that's honestly what infuriates me. How I'm just playing these really bad moves. I ended up going knight e7. Kicking the bishop, bishop f4 happened, queen b7 check. Oh no, actually no, a6 first. We get queen b3 again, which I don't really get. Queen c6, now f3. And here again, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I simply, I tried to apply the clock as a weapon, and I tried to simply find ways in order to maybe swindle this. When I know in reality this is a draw, if not white is just outright slightly better, not winning. Because he's coming with e4, he eventually has ideas of d5 with his passed pawn. And maybe while it's defendable, it's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm trying to look for a win. So I go off the rails. I know he's going on e4, I go f5, which is bad. I induce g4, and I didn't take. I should have taken, he would probably took him with h, and then maybe I got king f7. And the position, it's a position, maybe e4, knight f6, bishop e5, h6. I thought this was a position maybe I could try to play for something. Now, then again, I'm pretty sure anybody would prefer being, white in this position because you're the one inducing all this pressure. But I feel like I should have maybe tried for something more. I mean, it's just kind of sad, really. So pawns here. My knight, right, queen b7 check, pawn, bishop. Very, very sad situation. Sorry, this pawn's here. And instead of the game, this pawn was an h6. I was originally thinking of going with h6 and trying to go for g5 ideas, kicking the bishop out. He just didn't give me time. G4 is it's a good move. Now, by our perspective, I think he had a better one, but G4 just makes a lot of sense. I ended up going G6, which is a terrible move. He punished me with it, with queen b4, and I had better moves here. In the end, I didn't do what was objectively the best move. I did king f7, which is just bad. Like I didn't even think about it. Like I thought king f7, there's nothing. I was looking at queen b6, and I simply missed this move. It was just invisible. Bishop g5. The whole reason is simple. He's going to enter queen d7. If I block with knight f8, which why didn't I block with knight f8? Oh no, sorry, because the queen was on c6. Sorry, queen was on c6. I never did queen b7. I did queen c6 check. Like if I block with knight f8, he has queen e7 check, king g8, and bishop f3 or bishop h6, whichever. Actually, no, sorry, bishop h6. As I attack the knight, he can defend both with queen e7 and just take its mate. So it just rattles me how I missed this move. In the end, I decided to do knight f6. He took off, I took back, but now queen f3 check, king g5, h4 check, king f4, and this was the last move. And here I threw in the towel after king f2. Reason being, I have no moves. He's gonna follow up with queen e3 checkmate, queen b8, d4, queen takes d4 checkmate, or the most simplest one, like even if I try to pin this pawn, again queen b8, but let's say I made any other move trying to defend the dark squares, that's on queen c7, he has e3, and this is also going to be checkmate. There's just too many checkmates. I couldn't salvage anything. Had I taken here, he would have done queen h6 checkmate. So overall, I feel like in this game I regret it a lot because I feel like it's more psychological. I feel like really like the issues like on the board, like you saw the chess game itself, I was practically just equal, if not just outright better in the opening, and I was fighting for advantage. Like he simply slow played it, and in the middle game I got really nice position and I finished my development. But besides that, I couldn't get anything going. I hesitated a lot. I doubt my intuition, and I doubted what I initially thought was the best move, even though it of course was the best move. I should have done bishop c6, and I deeply regret that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I feel like kind of it just could have been better. I ended up finishing this event with as I said before in the video, 2 out of 5. I am very disappointed by it. It's just hard to really make that much progress, especially when you're trying to win ELO at these tournaments. Like I'm 1903 right now. I think I lost like 3 points. I was like 1906. So it's not that bad VA wise. UCF I don't really care much, but I'm gonna try to care, and I need to like raise my UCF a lot, so that way maybe I end up in these tournaments, playing on the GT board in the first round or second round. That's the goal. Like I want to keep playing on the GT boards. I don't want to keep playing these random, just random like tables. I want to actually gain experience and have the possibility of gaining more ELO, even if I still lose. But I'll be more happy losing on the GT board that I will hear, as that means I'm making progress. The issue is again, like Anthony, he's a very strong player. Like there's no doubt about it. Like he's strong, but his rating it doesn't represent it at all. And many of the people I played, like in the first round, there was this one Indian kid, super underrated. He's traveled around the U.S. He has a lot of resources, and he's just super young. And it's just very, very hard to do. Like the amount of skill, money, and time needed that he has, it's hard to make that happen. Like in Florida, here in our theater tournaments, we have like one theater tournament maybe like every 4 months, but it's just so hard to even get anything from it. Now, the good thing that happened was in the Blitz, I did win 135 bones. Also, I did get Jian Chao's signature, which you're about to see right here. So if you look at the camera, right there, that is Jian Chao's signature. He is the Grandmaster right there, which you guys can see, who won it last year. This year he couldn't really win it. He did tie for first. I don't know who got the trophy in the end, but there you can see Jian Chao's really nice signature. We took a picture of him and everything. They also gave us these really, really cool posters. So it is what it is. I honestly feel like I don't know. I feel like the event kind of felt like Gulf Coast, if I'm being honest. Like that's honestly how I feel about this event. Like I feel like this event was kind of like Gulf Coast, whereas no, it wasn't really like Gulf Coast. As in Gulf Coast, I didn't really lose that much ELO. As I think I got like 2.5, and I kept playing like top boards. But like what I'm saying is like here in here in Space Coast, it could have ended more better. I feel like I could have probably ended with 3 or 3.5, and that was the goal. My goal was getting 3. and I failed to do so. I am very, very disappointed in that statement. I feel like I had to get 3, and with 3 points or 3.5, I would gain elo. So maybe had I taken this draw and then last round I would have probably won or drew. I probably would have picked myself up again and I would have said, hey, it's not the end of the world. You get this draw, and you mitigate some of the damage. Sure, you're gonna lose maybe 3 points, but then when you win your last game or draw it, okay, if I draw, I lose rate. I lose a little bit of rate in UCF, which I don't care about, but I'll still win a lot of FIDE. But if I win, hey, good news, I win a lot of FIDE points, and I still gain, I think I made 1 or 2 points UCF wise. That was the goal. I mean, it just sucks to see what could have been. I keep throwing away these opportunities for no reason. It's not like I can't play classical and I'm not a good chess player. I can't play good chess. It just sucks to see it. I feel like most of my problems are just basically just psychological. I do have some problems with openings. I have a lot. That's a major flaw I have with openings. And I always keep doubting my intuition, and I never really accept draws, which is a flaw that I have to take into account. And I've always recognized it, but I don't play to what I'm saying. I don't keep my advice and just actually stick to it. I know that I should have probably taken a draw, and this probably wouldn't have happened because I've seen this exact situation happen multiple times before, where I decline a draw and then I end up losing, which is just unfortunate. Yeah. Overall, it's what can I say? The event, it could have ended better. 2 out of 5. I'm disappointed. It was a failure. I did lose 25 points UCF, that's whatever. I know I'll probably regain it back, but that's not the issue. The issue is with FIDE wise. FIDE wise, I didn't do anything. Now the good news is, again, I only lost 3-4 points, so it's not that bad FIDE wise. But again, I didn't make any progress, and that's what disappoints me. As this event I was trying to hype up for so long, and trying to go with a friend. My friend didn't also do very well. He did do 3.5 in his section, but he did gain some elo, where I think he broke even. Either way, again, it wasn't our best tournament. The only good news is I did win $135 in the Blitz. And in the Blitz, I also want to congratulate Alexander Jasinski, because he's a 10-year-old about to turn 11 that he has just broke National Master at this tournament. He actually withdrew after round 3, I believe. So yeah, I mean, say what you want, but I feel that kid's strong and he played really, really well. He withdrew, he didn't play it. The Indian kid, he did go on. He beat another NM after he beat me in the first round, and he also beat someone else. I don't remember correctly. He beat he beat 3 NMs in one tournament. It's just he's underrated. He does not have the ring. He's 2100. He should be 22 something. He has preparation. He has everything. I feel again, these tournaments can be summed up to 3 things. 1 is just opening preparation. 2, just tactical awareness, and 3 is simply your overall intuition and just risk taking. I try not to take risk, and that's a major flaw. I need to be more open to taking risks, to taking chances, and it's just not my nature. That's simply the fact. The matter is that simply I just refuse to take risks, and that's why I end up with these positions where it was a draw, I decline it, and then I end up losing. And again, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I feel again I could have ended better, but I'll take it with a grain of salt. It is it is what it is. Now hopefully in June I'll play World Open, and maybe I'll do better there. I just really want to play 9-round events. I think that's the best thing you can do. If you really want to gain elo, you have to play 9 rounds, and 5 rounds is just so hard to do. So yeah, alright, that's gonna be all for this video. Again, in Blitz I did win $135. I got 2nd place, so I'm not that disappointed Blitz wise. I also got back to 2200, but in Blitz rating. But again, the thing is, I'm just disappointed with my play. I feel it wasn't really my play, it was just more the decisions I took. I feel I should far more clearly, trying to just conserve rating instead of just outright trying to win and go to GT boards. That was really just had a very ST take that in my view. But yeah, overall, guys, I really hope you guys do well, and yeah, more videos are gonna be out like this soon, and yeah, take care. Maybe next year in Space Coast will be better, but who knows for the time being. Right now, I just gotta improve my rating, and hopefully events will go well. So, bye guys.